How you doing, guys, and welcome. So, best ways to watch Star Wars. Now, Star Wars, in my opinion, the best movie franchise out there in movie history. It's big, it's great long story journey, huge sci-fi action adventure. It's great. And how do you consume, enjoy the greatest saga of all? And there are many ways to enjoy and consume the best movie franchise of all, and in terms of timeline order to watch. Now, people think of the two obvious order to watch this movie, and I found that there are a couple in terms of timeline order to enjoy and consume and rewatch this saga. And there are 5 things I would like to share in terms of timeline order to watch Star Wars movie, and I would like to share my own way to watch. Now, the first obvious way to watch is chronological order. This is from episode 1, 2, 3, and of course the Rogue One Solo to 4, 5, 6, and the Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett to episode 7, 8, 9. It's very simplest way to watch, very straightforward, no flashbacks, so nothing too confused about it. It's a seamless transition, but this one spoiled the biggest twist happened in the original trilogy, one of the most iconic surprises of all time in cinematic history. You like the way I like how you could enjoy the episode 1, 2, 3, then once you jump into the original trilogy, it's like, oh, this guy is this guy, so that kind of ruined the party. So I tried to watch this way once. I actually did watch this way once. It was not a good idea to watch your way. So yes, it's an obvious way to watch, but like not the best idea to watch in chronological order. And the next one is theatrical order. Now, there's a reason why the father, the creator of the Star Wars, George Lucas, produced Star Wars in theatrical orders from 4, 5, 6 to back to 1, 2, 3. And I think it's one of the greatest one of the brilliant ideas that George Lucas came up in movie history. Really love it. And this way keeps the biggest twist in the original trilogy and the surprise, impactful shocker at the end of the prequel trilogy bigger, which makes it absolutely better. But the problem is, after the prequel trilogy, you jump past to the sequel trilogy, then back and forth in between the spin-off and the sequel trilogy. And if you want to include Disney Plus series like The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, it gets dicey a little. Of course, going back and forth between stories in the past or what's in the current event. So that's a kind of issue. And in my way, I would like to watch this way in theatrical order, but twist it a little bit. I will twist it a little bit in terms of watch this way. Now, the next couple of things in terms of timeline order to watch Star Wars is very interesting. The first way is machete order. In this way, you watch episode 4, 5, jump back to episode 2, 3, then jump forward to 6, 7, 8, 9. This one completely cut the Phantom Menace and treated as the anthology. Now, this idea is created by Rod Hilton, who's a big Star Wars fan who created this idea. This one keeps the focus on Luke Skywalker and while maintaining the twist intact. And this way puts the prequel trilogy in good position that makes sense for the story without spoiling any big surprises and secrets. Now, I kind of like this way, but I don't like the fact that they cut the Phantom Menace, because people treated the Phantom Menace, I know people don't like it, they're hate on Jar Jar Binks, but the Phantom Menace holds still little importance, actually very more underrated. That's why I like the next order much better, Ernst Rister order. This one, you include the Phantom Menace. The way to watch is episode 4, 5, jump back to 1, 2, 3, then jump forward to 6, 7, 8, 9, and not removing the Phantom Menace. And the Phantom Menace, one of the underrated and much more fun Star Wars movies of all. And even people disregard that as an important part of the story, it's still part of the story in the Skywalker saga. There are a couple of significant mentions were brought up during the Phantom Menace that were mentioned towards the end of the prequel trilogy. So I hold importance in the Phantom Menace. It's still bigger. It's still underrated. So that's why keeping the Phantom Menace is actually very important, in my opinion. And you're also missing out the best lightsaber duels of all in the Phantom Menace. So, and the next one is flashback order. This way, you watch episode 4 to back to Solo, Rogue One, then episode 5 back to episode 1, 2, 3, then jump forward to episode 6, 7, 8, 9. You like the idea of adding the spin-offs in this timeline order, but the negative for this one is that it disturbingly cuts in too much and their placement breaks up the original trilogy even more. Some might be okay jumping back and forth across the timeline, but this can be really out of whack, confusing. This might work best on which use sparingly, but I don't like this one. I don't like this way. Now, my ways to watch Star Wars would be theatrical chronological order. I'll watch the original trilogy first, then back to the prequel trilogy, episode 1, 2, 3, then watch the anthology movie like Rogue One. Now, Solo, I don't like Solo at all. That's an optional for me. But Rogue One, then jump forward to episode 4, 5, 6. Now, my interesting part was that I'll watch the original trilogy 4, 5, 6, then watch the 7, 8, 9. Because even, I had to watch this original trilogy for the second time. And you're gonna hear the biggest twist of all and happen to the original trilogy. But the original trilogy, probably the best rewatchable trilogy of all time in cinematic history. It's very fun and everything. So actually, you know what? I don't mind watching it again, then jump forward to the sequel trilogy, which not the best rewatchable trilogy of all. That's how I would do it. I would do the original trilogy, back to the sequel trilogy, watch the anthology movie, Rogue One, then watch the original trilogy again, and to the sequel trilogy. That's how I would do it. Now, another interesting part about the ways to watch Star Wars is like the Clone Wars series between episode 2 and 3. There are two ways. There are Clone Wars micro series and the animated The Clone Wars series. Now, I would choose the quickest way. That's the Clone Wars micro series. It's the very quickest way to watch and jump onto the Revenge of the Sith. And the Clone Wars animated series, there are 7 seasons with like each episode is about like 25 minutes or so. It's a lot to invest. But the fun thing about the Clone Wars series is that the stupid and dumb things that the battle droids do and the funny stuff they do. So that's the kind I enjoy the most. So that's how and I will watch and enjoy the greatest saga of all. That is Star Wars. So there you have it. That's my observation on the ways to watch Star Wars. What do you think about it? On the next video, I'll give my thoughts on Star Wars Attack of the Clones, which is not the best rewatchable Star Wars of all. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.